You know, there's a saying that you can learn more from a man who's been there and done it than you can in 5 years of study. I don't know who says that. I probably just made that up myself, but it sounds like it's pretty cool. So I want to speak to people who literally have been there and done it. People who don't have to prove themselves anymore. They don't have to prove anything to anybody except just being authentic and helping others with their lives. My guest today, if you don't know, is I say world famous, but I've known him for many, many years. He is, in my opinion, one of the top financial advisors in the country. He's been doing it for so many years that I think they used to have ox wagons and hand out tablets. And I mean physical, those big tablets as insurance premiums and policies and stuff. So that's what my guest, first guest ever, and I think when we do Kev eventually, I was going to give you one of these real man caps. I was going to, but then I thought something else. What I need to do is I'm actually going to probably have, and I'm making promises now, probably won't keep. I'm going to have a little number put on the side there. So if you were guest number 1, it's going to be on your cap number 1. You wear caps?
I do.
I think
I play golf,
I think you should. Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay, it was a ball joke. Obviously, you know that money strain, money stresses is what causes all sorts of divorce,
majority
addiction,
problems.
all the problems. Are you now a certified financial planner?
Correct.
We called ourselves financial advisors because it
Correct.
sounded posh.
Correct. Grey suits, BMWs.
Two gold pens,
gold
but you had to
pens.
qualify for your pens.
I got a
You got a big now. Things haven't been going that well.
And Gav, today it's a lot more involved, more actual planning, sitting with the client, doing a proper needs analysis. The insurance company got a number of products, but they all come down to the same thing: unit trusts, savings plan, retirement annuity, endowment policy, and a life policy.
Yeah.
Really, it's about sitting with the individual client, doing a proper needs analysis for him. Now, like needs analysis, but also writing down the information, going back and actually identifying what the person is actually required or what he's needing.
What do you do with money when you can't get a decent? You can't put it in the bank. But
If you
Kevin,
see
here's the
somebody
thing:
else.
is I'm sitting with you now. I'm saying my life has just been born. Now it's 20.
Yeah.
What's it? 2021, whatever it is. And I hear schooling and stuff is very expensive. For example, pre-primary and that type of thing. I've got 4-5 years, and I've got to start hoosing. First of all, what do I do for that? I mean, I know if I'm saving for her varsity, but that's not the thing. Varsities now are cheaper than private schools.
I'd rather let my kid go to varsity.
Exactly.
I've got money in my pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what can you afford? Okay, so that's what a lot of the time is affordability. Because as much as you want to say, listen, I want to save for my kids' education, unfortunately, and whether we like it or not, most people can't make it.
Yeah.
The average person in the street can't afford to actually put that amount of money away now and also have it there. So we look at the client and we'll say to him, if he can afford it, great, we'll put him in a plan, which will normally be in some form of linked product, which is today linked to the markets. So I think that's the important, is to get people to start doing financial planning, because circumstances change.
At Ferreira's Caravan Park.
Yeah. And as you know,
There was a different world.
Gav, let's not beat about the bush. Today we drive past Ferreira's Caravan Park to where I stay now.
Yeah.
And my kids joke with me and start singing Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
Like Gary. You stand up proudly and go, oh, yes, you're right. How important, now this is it's a loaded question. How important is honesty and being direct to you?
The most. That's why I've been in business 34 years.
Yeah.
And the important thing for me is that I want to walk into a shopping center, for example. That's my biggest thing, is that I don't want to have to hide behind a pole or behind a wall. I can't hide behind a pole.
I've got to.
You need a bit of a wall. And I don't want to. I want to walk in the shopping center, and I must be able to greet every person that I know. And I mustn't be embarrassed to see you and talk to you. So yeah, that's basically how I operate. I'll be honest with you. I don't oversell. I don't oversell. I don't over make a person go over there what their affordability is.
Now, for me, one of the reasons you're sitting here right now is I'm openly. I believe in life insurance. I believe that if you are any type of a good man, if you are a good man, you have to have cover on your life. How do you not worry about you being taken out? And in this country, you can be taken out in a number of different ways, let alone the dreaded diseases and the heart attacks and all that type of stuff, and leave your family with absolutely nothing. And I remember in our training, one of the things is like, would you insure your money machine? I love that story. You know what I mean? If you had a machine in your basement that printed out money every month, would you insure that machine if it broke? And everyone goes, well, yeah. We say, well, you are the machine. So why haven't you insuring you? So I know, and again, we spoke about this before, you don't really know the importance of insurance, and you don't really believe in it, even as a salesperson, until you make your first payout. And you by now must have made a few.
I've made a number of payouts, and that's probably made me why I believe in this business, because that's exactly it. And I think it comes from probably where we come from. So your first thing is that when we started to grow up, we said we're not going to let our families be in the same position.
True.
So that's why we are probably more passionate about it, to know that we know where we were. If something had to happen to you and I don't want my family to be where I was.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that they're adequately covered. However, Gav, I've been, as I said, 34 years in this industry. Not once have I ever had a spouse or a person receiving the money for the person who's died saying to me, yeah, Gav left me too much money. Never happened.
Yeah.
Always too short. However, it's never been more satisfying in going to a family. Look, the sad thing is that a lot of the people that you actually pay out, unfortunately, are friends. Because your client becomes your friend.
Yeah.
I think be fair to everybody. That's probably the first thing.
Even when they're not fair to you, even when life isn't fair, because let's face it, life isn't fair.
No, of course, life chucks weird things at you.
Yeah.
Things when you least expect it.
Yeah.
So make your own bed. If we can all do time management, most of the job is done.
If the money machine gets stolen, in other words, you die, you need to have something for your family. But even worse than that is if the money machine just stops working, now you're going to have to look after the money machine as well as your family. So that we're talking now disability and dread disease. Okay, talk to us about that. So the word dread disease, a lot of people don't know what dread disease is. What is dread disease?
In a simple term, it's a disease that will impair your life, but impair you to do what you're able to do in your occupation and or lifestyle, but not kill you.
But not
I've got clients to the extent I've got clients who've had heart attacks who've been paid out 4 million rand, and he was able to go back to work in 6 months' time. You know what I mean? My brother, he had cancer. He got paid out a sum of money. He was still trying to work, but unfortunately succumbed to it. So he got paid out a dreaded disease claim, and he got paid out a life claim. Another payout because he was terminal, so he knew he was going to die. So they would have normally, in the most insurance companies, will pay out the amount now before.
Yeah. So you can get your order.
That you can do what you want with your money. Look after his family. Look after himself. Have nobody. Not be dependent on anybody else. And when he died, he also had money paid out to him, and also to look after his family. They don't have to work, you know. Often you get, when you go to the funeral, because you're almost like people are saying, who's that guy? Most of the family will all know each other, and then eventually you'll see it if it's awake or anything, they'll say, who's that? You can actually almost see them saying, who's that guy? And the wife or some of the family will say, no, that's his insurance broker. Which for me is like, it's actually quite, it's fulfilling if you understand.
Well, number one, you're there. It's not just a number and an token, because I mean, that's what some guys do. I mean, somebody dies, they say, oh, we'll get the paperwork, fill it in, and then good luck, here's your check, and they send it to the person. Some people put it in the mail.
No, I go to all my funerals.
You go to the funeral?
All my clients' funerals, if I can.
Damn, man.
Did he leave insurance? You know, at most funerals, they're all saying, what did he leave? How much?
Yeah, they want to know.
Because
but a lot of the times they want to know as well is because they want to know if the family's going to suffer. They want to know if, you know. And I must admit, the funerals I've been at, and the guy didn't have any life cover. I mean, people really sit back and they go, what? And they actually get angry that this guy would leave his family like I do. But Kev, what is it that people say? Times are tough now, you know what I mean? Especially now. I mean, the times are tough. I can't afford it. I can't
if times are tough and you die, how much tougher is it going to be?
Yeah.
Really, we've got to work with it because each person's different age, and depending on when they want to retire, some 55. Bearing in mind, when we started out, people were retiring at 55.
Yeah.
People don't even want to retire at 65.
Yeah.
Because we're still too young.
Yeah. And the reason why I would rather do business with an older person, a person who's totally established, And this is the key, and I try and get this across to people all the time. I don't need your business. I want your business.
Okay.
Now there's the big one. Because I would rather deal with somebody who sits back, and if I don't buy from him today, it's not going to affect his bottom line. I mean, it's never going to, his bottom line is where it is because it's established and he's set. All that can happen is go up. And you not coming into my life isn't going to make me go down. So you know what? The only benefit I've got in sitting here right now is actually helping you, because I'm not chasing the buck.
That's almost, you can almost put that in a nutshell for me. I mean, you've almost hit the nail on the head. We've been around a while. I'll come and sit with you. I don't hard sell. I've never hard sold. I've worked hard, but I've never done a hard sale.
Yeah.
And if anything, I've walked away with too little where the person wanted to spend more.
Yeah.
Okay? So I won't hard sell you. But at the end of the day now, I'm here to give you advice. If you don't want to take my advice, Gav, it's not going to make me a richer or poorer person as you just explained it.
Yeah.
And I know that what I'm telling you is the way that you want to go. Providing the information you're giving me is what you want.
Yeah.
Okay? But yes, that's probably, I don't have to achieve a target.
Yeah.
Or to get a gold badge. I don't need badges anymore.
You can fit whatever the client needs. You can say, I can get that from that because it suits you.
Momentum, Mutual, Sunlum, Liberty, Discovery.
And you do medical aids as well.
And we do have a medical aid department as well. Yes.
Okay. And then another thing you do, which I didn't realize, you do short term. Okay, but you're a broker for a short term?
Broker for a number of insurance.
So you can get the best
at
deal for
our
that as well.
brokerage, we've got 7 people at our brokerage. Different people looking after medical aid, short term, life policies.
I've always found that the best people to deal with in companies are people who've got leverage. In other words, if there's a problem with a policy or there's a challenge, if you phone up somebody who's not even known to the company, you're not going to come right. But if you deal with one of the top guys, are you that guy, Kev? Be honest.
Kev, I've been here 34 years, so I've got to be top in quite a few companies, especially in the short-term industry. That's the important. When a claim goes wrong or there's a problem and you need things sorted out.
You need somebody in the ground to fight for you.
To go and say, listen, this is a situation, there's been an error or whatever, but you need to have a bit of leverage. Because it only takes one generation to blow.
It does, eh? It does.
The family's money. Thanks,
Okay.